Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. As we all know, our world is full of scary things. Sometimes we encounter these terrifying things unexpectedly, and we couldn't do anything about it because we are not prepared. There are some people who like to live dangerously. They want to explore the unknown. In today's video, I am going to share with you a Reddit user's experience of what he saw at 3 a.m. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button for more videos. Let's get into it. It was around 3 a.m. I was in my room playing games. Suddenly I heard a strange sound. I couldn't identify the source of this noise. It sounded like someone was knocking the walls. The sound was coming from outside my home. As I listened intently, the sound seemed to be coming from the wall next to my bed. It was a brick wall. I could hear something moving inside of it. I didn't think much of it. Maybe it was just some mice. So I went back to playing my game. After a few minutes, I heard the same sound again. It was now coming from the corner of my room. I looked over there and saw nothing. I felt a bit scared, but I tried to ignore it and went back to gaming. After 5 minutes, the noise started again, but this time it was louder. It was coming from the closet. I slowly got up from my chair and went towards the closet. My hands were shaking. I don't know why. I stopped in front of the closet and listened intently. Then I slowly opened the door. The moment I did, a gust of wind blew out, making my hair stand on end. I was too frightened to scream or make any sound. I stood there frozen in fear, and suddenly a black shadow emerged from the closet. It was like a dark cloud taking shape before my eyes. It floated towards me, and I tried to run away, but my legs wouldn't move. It was like an invisible force was holding them down. The shadow loomed over me, and I closed my eyes tight. I felt something cold touch my face. It was the hand of the shadow. It had long, sharp claws that dug into my skin. I cried out in pain and fear. When I opened my eyes, the shadow was gone, and so was the hand. I quickly got up from the floor and ran to the window. I needed to get some fresh air. As I looked out into the darkness, I saw a dark figure standing on my lawn. It was tall and thin, like a human-shaped cloud. It was too far away to make out any details, but I could feel its eyes burning into me. I quickly turned away and locked the window. I was shaking uncontrollably. What was that thing? Why had it come to me? As the night wore on, the scratching sounds continued. Sometimes they were loud, and other times they were soft. It was like the creature outside my window was trying to communicate with me. I spent the rest of the night huddled in my bed, too scared to sleep or make a sound. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the shadow reaching for me, its claws extended. I could feel its icy touch on my skin and hear its voice echoing in my ears. As the first rays of sunlight peeked through my curtains, the scratching stopped. I let out a shaky breath and slowly got out of bed. I needed to get my mind off what had happened the night before. I quickly got dressed and headed downstairs for breakfast. I tried to convince myself that what I had seen and felt was just a figment of my imagination. There was no way a creature like that could exist. But as the day wore on, the memory of the shadow and the scratching only grew stronger. I couldn't focus on my work or studies. All I could think about was the creature outside my window and what it wanted from me. I found myself constantly looking over my shoulder, half expecting to see the shadow looming behind me. As evening approached, the scratching started again. At first it was faint, but soon it grew louder and more insistent. I tried to ignore it, but it was impossible. I had to do something. I grabbed a flashlight and cautiously approached my window. I shone the beam outside, but there was nothing there. I stepped closer to the window, and that's when I saw it. A small, dark shape was sitting on my lawn. It was too far away to make out any details, but I could feel its eyes boring into me. I quickly pulled back from the window. I didn't want it to see me, but then I had an idea. I grabbed a baseball bat and returned to the window. I was determined to get a closer look at whatever was out there. I slowly opened the window and peered out. The scratching sound stopped. I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears. Then I saw it. The dark shape moved slightly and I gasped. It was a humanoid creature made of pure darkness. It was tall and thin, like a human-shaped cloud. Its eyes glowed red in the darkness, and its claws scraped against the concrete. I watched in horror as it slowly began to rise. It was like a nightmare brought to life. I quickly closed the window and leaned back, my heart racing. I knew I had to do something, but I was frozen in fear. Then I remembered my phone. I quickly dialed 911 and explained what I had seen. But as I spoke, the creature started pounding on my window. I could feel the vibrations in my bones. I tried to stay calm, but I could hear the panic in my own voice. As the police arrived, the scratching stopped. They searched my yard and questioned me, but they found nothing. No sign of the creature, no prints in the grass. It was as if it had never been there. The officers looked at me with pitying smiles. They thought I was having some kind of psychotic break. I knew they wouldn't believe me if I told them what I had seen, so I kept quiet. The days that followed were filled with dread. I couldn't shake the feeling that the creature was watching me, waiting for me to let my guard down. I started seeing shadows everywhere, even in the daylight. I became convinced that the creature could take any shape it wanted, that it was hiding in plain sight. I couldn't sleep, eat, or concentrate. I was a prisoner in my own home. Then one night, it happened again. I was awakened by the sound of scratching. I knew instantly that it was the creature. This time, it was louder than ever. I could hear it moving closer, its claws scraping against the wood. I screamed, but my voice was hoarse and weak. I tried to get out of bed, but my legs wouldn't move. I was paralyzed with fear. Then I saw it. The shadow emerged from the corner of my room, taking shape before my eyes. It was taller now, more defined. I could see its eyes glowing red in the darkness. I struggled to get away, but the shadow was too quick. It lunged at me, and I felt its icy claws dig into my skin. I cried out in pain and fear. This time it didn't let me scream. It dragged me towards the closet, its grip tightening around my throat. I felt my vision blurring at the edges. I tried to claw at the shadow, but its touch burned like ice fire. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't fight back. Then everything went black. I woke up in a hospital bed. Sunlight streamed through the window, but I couldn't focus on the light. My whole body hurt. I tried to sit up, but a nurse quickly stopped me. "Don't move," she said firmly. "You're in no condition to be getting out of bed." I looked down and saw that my arms were covered in scratches and bruises. The sight sent a chill down my spine. I knew instantly that the nurse was lying. I hadn't been in an accident. I had been attacked by a creature from beyond our world. As the days passed, my physical wounds healed, but my mental wounds lingered. I still see the shadow in my nightmares, and hear its claws scraping against my skin. I know it's out there, waiting for me to let my guard down. I can feel its presence in the darkness, watching me, waiting for me to fall asleep. Some days I think I'm going crazy. The scratching is driving me insane. I'm so tired of it. I wish it would just stop. I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't take it anymore. I'm so scared. Please help me. That was a terrifying story. I can't imagine what it must be like to be attacked by such a creature. If you like scary stories, check out my other videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.